Writing. Before you die, learn this. If you knew you had only 1 year left to live, what would you stop worrying about today? Would you still care who ignored you? Would you still waste hours proving yourself to people who already decided not to understand you? Would you still postpone the dream because you were waiting for the perfect time? One day, without warning, your time will run out. And when that day comes, you will not wish you had answered more arguments. You will not wish you had impressed more strangers. You will not wish you had spent more time checking who liked your pictures, who respected you, or who talked behind your back. You will wish you had lived. You will wish you had been brave. You will wish you had loved more deeply, forgiven more wisely, protected your peace, used your gifts, and stopped giving your precious attention to things that never deserved it. Welcome to Inner Steel. Before we begin, subscribe to Inner Steel if you want more powerful lessons about discipline, emotional control, strength, self-respect, and becoming the person you were capable of becoming. Now listen carefully. Because these are not lessons to save for someday. Someday is not guaranteed. 1. Your time is more valuable than your money. You can lose money and earn it again. You can lose a job and find another. You can lose possessions and replace them. But you cannot lose an hour and buy it back. That is one of the most painful truths about life. Every morning, you receive something more valuable than money. You receive another portion of your life. And most people spend it without realizing what they are spending. They wake up. They check their phones. They scroll. They compare themselves. They argue with strangers. They watch other people live. They complain about their circumstances. Then they look at the clock and wonder where the day went. Imagine a man named Daniel. Daniel worked hard every day. He told himself he was doing everything for his future. "I am sacrificing now so I can enjoy life later," he would say. He worked late. He skipped family dinners. He postponed vacations. He kept telling his children, "Maybe next weekend." Next weekend became next month. Next month became next year. Then one afternoon, Daniel received news that his father was seriously ill. Suddenly, the man who had always been waiting for the right time realized something terrifying. There might not be enough time. He rushed to the hospital. His father looked at him and smiled. Daniel apologized for all the visits he had missed. His father simply said, "You were always busy building tomorrow." Those words stayed with him. Because tomorrow had always been Daniel's excuse. The lesson is not that ambition is bad. The lesson is that ambition without presence can become another form of poverty. Work hard. Build. Save. Grow. But do not sacrifice every meaningful moment for a future you are not guaranteed to reach. Spend your time deliberately. Give your attention to people who matter. Read the book. Take the walk. Call your family. Start the project. Sit quietly. Watch the sunset. Laugh without checking the clock. Because one day, the clock will continue moving after you can no longer move with it. Before you die, learn this. Your life is not measured by how much time you had. It is measured by what you did with the time you had. 2. Stop trying to be understood by everyone. One of the greatest sources of exhaustion is trying to make everyone understand you. You explain. Then explain again. Then defend yourself. Then provide evidence. Then give more explanations. And somehow, after all that effort, the person still chooses to misunderstand you. Let them. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your life. Consider Marcus. Marcus was a quiet man. He did not enjoy conflict. But at work, a colleague accused him of being arrogant because he did not participate in every conversation. Marcus tried to explain. "I am not ignoring anyone. I simply enjoy working quietly." The colleague did not believe him. So Marcus explained again. And again. For weeks, he tried to change the person's opinion. Finally, an older coworker noticed his frustration. He said, "Why are you spending so much energy trying to control someone else's opinion?" Marcus answered, "Because I don't want him to think badly of me." The older man smiled. "Then you have handed him control of your peace." That sentence changed Marcus. He stopped explaining. He continued doing his work. He treated everyone with respect. He allowed his behavior to speak. Months later, the same colleague apologized. Not because Marcus had convinced him, but because time had revealed the truth. This is something you must understand. Your character does not require constant defense. If someone genuinely wants to understand you, they will listen. If someone is committed to misunderstanding you, no explanation will ever be enough. Stop turning your life into a courtroom. You do not need to prove your innocence to every person who invents a story about you. Lie correctly. Speak when necessary. Stay silent when explanation would only feed conflict. Let time reveal what words cannot. Before you die, learn this. You do not need everyone to understand you. You need to understand yourself. 3. Learn to walk away. There is strength in staying. But there is also strength in leaving. Some people remain in situations because they are afraid of what walking away will say about them. They stay in friendships that constantly humiliate them. They stay in relationships that destroy their confidence. They stay in environments that make them smaller. They stay because they remember how things used to be. But you cannot live inside a memory. A young woman named Elena once stayed in a friendship for almost 10 years. When they were younger, they had been inseparable. But over time, the friendship changed. Her friend constantly mocked her ambitions. Whenever Elena succeeded, the friend found something negative to say. Whenever Elena shared good news, the friend minimized it. Elena kept telling herself, "But we've been friends for 10 years. One evening, Elena finally understood. 10 years was not a reason to sacrifice the next 10. She walked away. It hurt. She cried. She missed the memories. But eventually she realized something important. Walking away did not mean the friendship had never mattered. It meant she had finally accepted that it no longer belonged in the same chapter of her life. You are allowed to leave. You can leave without hatred. You can leave without revenge. You can leave quietly. Not every door needs to be slammed. Some doors simply need to remain closed. Your life is too short to repeatedly return to places that teach you the same painful lesson. Before you die, learn this. Do not confuse loyalty with self-abandonment. 4. Do not wait for permission to become who you are. Many people are waiting for someone to tell them they are ready. They are waiting for approval. Waiting for encouragement. Waiting for someone to believe in them. Waiting for the perfect opportunity. And while they wait, their lives remain unchanged. Imagine a man named Samuel who wanted to start a small business. He talked about it for years. Every time someone asked why he had not started, he had a reason. I need more money. I need better equipment. I need more knowledge. I need people to support me. One day, his older brother asked him a simple question. What if nobody ever gives you permission? Samuel had no answer. So he started small. He made mistakes. He lost money. He learned. He tried again. 3 years later, his business was successful. But the most important thing he gained was not money. It was self-trust. He learned that confidence often comes after action, not before it. You cannot always wait until you feel ready. Sometimes you become ready by beginning. You do not need everybody to believe in your dream. You need enough courage to take the first step. Before you die, learn this. Your life is yours. Stop waiting for permission to live it. 5. Master your emotions before they master you. Anger can make you say something that takes years to repair. Fear can make you abandon opportunities that could change your life. Jealousy can make you destroy relationships you should have protected. Pride can make you refuse apologies. Emotion itself is not weakness. Being controlled by emotion is. Imagine a man named James who was insulted publicly by someone he worked with. His first instinct was to react. He wanted to embarrass the other person. But he remembered something his grandfather had once told him. When someone throws fire at you, do not catch it with your bare hands. James took a breath. He said nothing. Later, he addressed the situation calmly. The result was completely different from what would have happened if he had exploded. He discovered that restraint did not make him weak. It made him difficult to manipulate. You cannot control everything that happens to you. But you can train yourself to control what happens inside you. Feel anger. But choose your response. Feel fear. But move anyway. Feel sadness. But do not surrender your entire identity to it. Feel disappointment. But keep walking. Your emotions are signals. They are not always commands. Before you die, learn this. Pause before reacting. That pause can change your entire life. 6. Stop chasing people who do not choose you. There is a particular kind of pain that comes from trying to earn someone's attention. You message first. You apologize first. You check whether they are okay. You make excuses for their behavior. You tell yourself they are just busy. And eventually, you realize you have been carrying a relationship alone. A man named David spent months trying to repair a friendship. He was always the one calling. Always arranging meetings. Always checking in. One day, he decided to stop. Not as a game. Not to manipulate his friend. He simply stopped forcing something that no longer flowed naturally. Weeks passed. Nothing happened. And that silence hurt. But it also answered his question. David realized that he had not lost a friendship. He had discovered that the friendship had already been gone. Do not beg for a place in someone's life. Give people the freedom to choose. And then pay attention to what they choose. Before you die, learn this. Love people. Respect people. Forgive people. But never make another person's attention the foundation of your worth. 7. Learn to enjoy your own company. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. Some people are terrified of silence because silence forces them to meet themselves. They constantly need noise. Music. Messages. Social media. Friends. Entertainment. Something must always be happening. But there is a version of yourself you will never meet if you are always distracted. A man named Robert once took a weekend trip alone. At first, he hated it. He kept reaching for his phone. He felt uncomfortable eating alone. He wondered what people thought. But after a while, something changed. He became peaceful. He read. He walked. He thought. He noticed things he had ignored for years. He returned home with a strange realization. He had spent years running from solitude when solitude had been waiting to introduce him to himself. Learn to sit alone. Learn to eat alone. Learn to think alone. Learn to make decisions without applause. Because when you become comfortable with yourself, you stop accepting unhealthy company simply because you fear being alone. Before you die, learn this. Your own company should not feel like punishment. It should feel like home. 8. Protect your peace. Peace is expensive because you must be willing to say no to things that disturb it. You cannot control every person. You cannot control every event. You cannot prevent every disappointment. But you can control what you repeatedly invite into your life. A woman named Grace had a habit of answering every argument. Someone posted something about her online. She responded. Someone criticized her. She responded. Someone misunderstood her. She responded. One day she looked at her phone and realized she had spent hours fighting people she would never meet. She deleted the arguments. She put the phone away. She went outside. The world did not collapse. Her life continued. That was when she understood. Not every battle deserves your energy. Some battles are won by refusing to participate. Peace does not mean weakness. Sometimes peace is what remains after you finally stop fighting unnecessary wars. Before you die, learn this. Protect your peace like your life depends on it. Because it does. 9. Take care of your body. Your body carries you through every dream you have. Yet many people treat it like an enemy. They neglect sleep. Neglect movement. Eat carelessly. Ignore warning signs. Then wonder why they feel exhausted. You do not need perfection. You need respect. A man named Peter spent years saying, "I'll get healthy later." later never arrived. One morning he struggled to climb a staircase he used to walk easily. That moment frightened him. He realized that his body had been sending messages for years. So he started small. He walked every morning. He drank more water. He improved his meals. He slept better. He became stronger. Not overnight, but gradually. Your body is not merely an appearance. It is the vehicle carrying your mind through this life. Take care of it. Before you die, learn this. Do not wait until you lose your health to appreciate having it. 10. Learn to forgive without forgetting the lesson. Forgiveness does not always mean reconciliation. Sometimes forgiveness means releasing yourself from the responsibility of carrying hatred. A man named Daniel was betrayed by someone he trusted. For years, he replayed the betrayal. He imagined what he should have said. He imagined revenge. He kept the wound alive. Then one day he realized something painful. The person who hurt him had moved on. Daniel was the one still suffering. So he forgave. Not because what happened was acceptable. Not because he trusted that person again. But because he wanted his mind back. He kept the lesson. He released the poison. That is mature forgiveness. You can remember what happened without living inside it. Before you die, learn this. Forgive people when you can. But never forget what the experience taught you. 11. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's, chapter 20. Comparison steals gratitude. You look at someone's success and forget their years of struggle. You see the results and ignore the process. A young man named Alex constantly compared himself with his classmates. One had a better job. Another had a bigger house. Another traveled more. He felt behind. Then he learned the story behind one friend's success. That friend had spent 10 years working through rejection and failure. Alex had only seen the final photograph. He had never seen the years behind it. Never compare your unfinished journey with someone's finished presentation. Your path may be slower. It may look different. That does not mean it is wrong. Before you die, learn this. Run your race. 12. Say what matters while you still can. One of the saddest regrets people carry is the love they never expressed. I love you. I am proud of you. I am sorry. Thank you. I forgive you. Simple words. But sometimes they require enormous courage. A man named Michael had an argument with his father. He planned to apologize later. Later became tomorrow. Tomorrow became next week. Then one morning, his father was gone. Michael had money. He had achievements. He had possessions. But none of them could buy one final conversation. Do not assume you have unlimited opportunities to say what matters. Tell people. Thank them. Love them. Apologize when you are wrong. Do not let pride turn beautiful words into permanent silence. Before you die, learn this. Say it while they can still hear you. 13. Failure is not the end. You will fail. You will make mistakes. You will embarrass yourself. You will choose wrongly. You will trust the wrong person. You will lose money. You will experience rejection. That is life. A young athlete named Kevin trained for years for one major competition. He lost. He was devastated. He thought the loss proved he was not good enough. His coach told him, "You did not lose your future today. You lost one event." Kevin returned to training. The next year, he competed again. He won. But even if he had lost again, the lesson would remain. A failure is an event. It is not your identity. Do not turn one bad chapter into a definition of your entire book. Before you die, learn this. Fall. Learn. Rise. Continue. 14. Discipline will take you where motivation cannot. Motivation is temporary. Discipline remains when motivation disappears. You will not always feel like working. You will not always feel like exercising. You will not always feel like studying. You will not always feel inspired. That is why discipline matters. A writer named Sarah wanted to write a book. She waited for inspiration. Months passed. Then she created a rule. 1 page every day. Some days she wrote beautifully. Some days she wrote badly. But she wrote. After a year, she had hundreds of pages. The book existed because she stopped depending on feelings. That is discipline. Small actions repeated long enough become extraordinary results. Before you die, learn this. Do what must be done even when you do not feel like doing it. 15. Do not make money your God. Money matters. It can provide security. It can create opportunities. It can reduce certain kinds of stress. But money cannot replace everything. A wealthy man named Thomas spent decades chasing financial success. He achieved it. But when he looked around, he realized that many of the people he loved had grown old while he was busy becoming successful. He had achieved his financial goal. But he had missed moments he could never purchase. Money is a tool. Use it. Respect it. Save it. Invest it. But do not worship it. Because there are things money can buy and things it never will. Before you die, learn this. Build wealth without becoming poor in everything else. 16. Choose your friends carefully. Your environment shapes you. Spend enough time around people who complain, and complaining begins to feel normal. Spend enough time around disciplined people, and discipline becomes easier. Spend enough time around people who chase growth, and growth becomes part of your identity. A young man named Chris changed his life after changing his circle. His old friends spent every weekend wasting money and mocking anyone who tried to improve. Chris began spending time with people who studied, trained, built businesses, and discussed ideas. His life changed. Not because someone magically transformed him. Because his environment made certain behaviors easier. Before you die, learn this. Choose people who make your better self easier to become. 17. Learn to say no. Every yes costs something. When you say yes to something meaningless, you may be saying no to something important. A man named Victor said yes to everyone. He helped everyone. Attended everything. Accepted every request. Eventually, he had no time for his own goals. He felt exhausted. Then he learned that saying no was not cruelty. It was boundaries. He began saying, "No, I cannot. No, that does not work for me. No, I have another priority." His life became quieter. But it also became more meaningful. Before you die, learn this. Your time needs boundaries. 18. Stop living for other people's applause. If your happiness depends on applause, silence will destroy you. You cannot build a stable life around people's opinions. Today they praise you. Tomorrow they criticize you. Next week they forget you. So why make them the center of your identity? A young artist named Maria used to create only what received approval. Eventually she became miserable. Then she began creating what she genuinely believed in. Some people loved it. Some hated it. But Maria was finally proud of herself. That was freedom. Before you die, learn this. Let your values become stronger than the crowd's opinions. 19. Do not let your past become your prison. Your past explains you. It does not have to control you. Maybe you made terrible choices. Maybe you wasted years. Maybe you trusted the wrong people. Maybe you failed. You cannot rewrite yesterday. But you can decide what tomorrow means. A man named James spent years calling himself a failure because of mistakes he made when he was younger. Then one day he realized something. The past had already taken enough from him. He refused to give it the future too. He started again. Slowly. Quietly. But he started. Before you die, learn this. Regret can teach you. It should not imprison you. 20. Learn to be present. Your mind is often somewhere else. Yesterday. Tomorrow. A conversation from 5 years ago. A problem that has not happened. A mistake you cannot change. Meanwhile, life is happening now. A mother named Helen once noticed that her son kept trying to get her attention while she was working. She repeatedly said, "Later." One evening, she looked at him and realized how quickly he was growing. She put the work down. She sat beside him. They talked. That ordinary evening became one of her favorite memories. Why? Because she was finally there. Not physically. Mentally. Emotionally. Fully. Before you die, learn this. Do not miss today while worrying about tomorrow. 21. Stop overthinking everything. Thinking is useful. Overthinking is different. It keeps you trapped in imaginary futures. What if this happens? What if they reject me? What if I fail? What if people laugh? A man named Eric spent months planning a business but never launched. He kept researching. Another course. Another book. Another plan. Finally, his friend told him, "You don't need another plan. You need another step." Eric launched. It was imperfect. But it existed. Action taught him more than endless thinking ever could. Before you die, learn this. Think deeply. Then act. 22. Keep learning. The moment you stop learning, you begin becoming outdated. Read. Ask questions. Listen. Study. Make mistakes. Change your mind when evidence demands it. A retired teacher named Samuel spent his later years learning languages, reading history, and studying technology. Someone asked him why. He said, "Because I am still alive." That answer contains wisdom. As long as you are alive, there is more to learn. Before you die, learn this. Never become too old to grow. 23. Your words matter. Words can build people. Words can destroy people. Sometimes a sentence spoken in anger stays inside someone for decades. A father once told his son, "You will never amount to anything." The father forgot the sentence. The son never did. Years later, the son succeeded, but the words remained in his memory. This is why you must learn to speak carefully. Strength is not saying everything you think. Strength is knowing what deserves to be said. Before you die, learn this. Use your words to create more than you destroy. 24. Do not fear being different. The crowd can be wrong. If everyone is running in one direction, that does not automatically mean you should follow. A young student named Daniel wanted to study a subject his friends considered useless. They mocked him. He continued. Years later, that knowledge became the foundation of his career. He did not win because he followed the crowd. He won because he followed conviction. Before you die, learn this. Do not sacrifice your identity just to fit into a room. 25. Take responsibility for your life. There will always be something to blame. Your parents. Your environment. Your economy. Your past. Your enemies. Your luck. Sometimes circumstances genuinely are unfair. But responsibility asks a different question. What can I do now? A man named Andrew spent years blaming everyone. Nothing changed. Then he began asking what was within his control. He changed his habits, his skills, his choices, his environment. His life began changing. Responsibility is powerful because it gives you something many people never develop. Agency. Before you die, learn this. You may not control what happened, but you can influence what happens next. 26. Do not be afraid to start over. Starting over can feel humiliating, but staying somewhere you no longer belong can be even more painful. A woman named Rachel lost her career after a company closed. She was devastated. She thought her life was finished. Instead, she learned a new skill. She started again. Her second career became more fulfilling than her first.